thank you.
I'll be on the phone.
Thank you, Frank. Before I get started, I want to recognize two very special guests we have with us today as well. The first is my dear former colleague, but still the colleague at heart, who helped build Nexford from day one. Please, round of applause for Al-Midum. Thank you for joining us today. And the second is a dear partner and friend of mine who's helped me navigate Nigeria really from day one and has been a supporter of our startup really from back in 2019 is E, otherwise known as Ianola. E, please stand up and let's give him a clap. E is the founder or co-founder of both Flutterwave and Andela. Again, thank you for joining us today, E. All right. Good afternoon, proud parents, honored guests, and most importantly, our resilient graduates. It is an honor to stand before you today addressing the future leaders and change makers of our beloved continent, Africa. Today, you stand at the precipice of a new beginning, armed with knowledge and fortified with resilience. Your degree is not the culmination of your education, but rather a launching pad. You have learned how to learn, and it is your responsibility to continue this journey of learning, to quench your thirst for knowledge, and to positively impact your world. Please, don't let your degree get in the way of your education. Take control of your destinies and forge your paths with determination and creativity. Remember, Jakpa is not the sole path to success. In this era of remote work, jobs are transcending geographical boundaries, and Africa, with its youthful population, is poised to be the cradle of tomorrow's global workforce. There is an undeniable truth in this. Africa is where tomorrow's workforce will come from. Our ancestors have traversed continents, shaping economies and societies. Nigerians in the US are twice as educated on average as the average American. It is time for you to ascend to leadership, to redefine perceptions, and to engrave your marks on societies, whether here in Nigeria or beyond your borders. If your journey does take you to foreign lands, please remember, you are the architects of perceptions, the ambassadors of our values. Make those lands realize the privilege of hosting Nigerian talent. Showcase your superior skills and let the world witness the value you add, the value you will create. Having personally experienced life in Africa, the US, and the UK, I understand the opportunities and the prevailing perceptions. It is upon you, the graduates of today, to shatter those stereotypes and to elevate the standard of Nigerian talent on the global stage. Africa, geographically, is equivalent to China, Europe, India, and the US combined. That is not what the world map today will show, but that is the truth. Think about this magnitude. Reflect upon what Africa needs from its sons and daughters, and envision what you can do for Africa. The upcoming decade will see Africa's emergence to the global forefront, with economic growth here exceeding growth anywhere else in the world. The challenges we face are the stepping stones to unparalleled opportunities. Soon, Africa will boast the world's largest working age population, a beacon of talent in a world facing and struggling talent shortages on a daily basis. 18% of Africa's urban population does not have access to electricity. Yet, 1% of the sunshine this continent receives is enough to power the entire world. Think about how addressing challenges like this is going to change the future of this continent. It costs the same amount of money to ship a container from China to Lagos as it does to move that container from Lagos to Abuja. Think about that. Think about how addressing challenges like this is going to change the future of this continent. However, productivity lags. Africa is half as productive as Europe, a third as productive as China. Imagine the transformation if our productivity mirrored that of other regions like China. operating at the levels of productivity China does, would create over 200 million jobs over the next 6 years alone. Think about how that would impact Nigeria as Africa's most populous nation and the country with its largest youth population. Some of you here today may feel these challenges are just insurmountable, but they are not. They truly are not. You know, if we go back in time, just 70 years, South Korea was one of the poorest nations in the world, with a GDP of $1.7 billion. Today, it is the world's 10th largest economy, with a GDP of 1.8 trillion, 4 times Nigeria's. I'm sure back then South Koreans were overwhelmed with despair, but here they are today. Where will Nigeria stand in the coming decades? And how will you contribute to that renaissance? How? No matter what God you believe in, the reason for our existence as humans and as humanity is to leave the world a better place than we found it. Think about how you will contribute to that goal, each in your own way. As John F. Kennedy said, ask not what your country will do for you, ask what you can do for your country. In conclusion, embrace your roles as change agents, architects of the future, and bearers of hope. Let your actions resonate with purpose. Let your actions reinstate a sense of hope in the minds of the less fortunate Nigerians who are not celebrating the graduation with Nexford today. Millions of them out there. Congratulations, Nexford graduates. The future is yours to shape, and the world is yours to transform. Thank you.